Welcome to Potawatomi Sportsbook Weekly. This is Austin Herdina, Sportsbook Manager. I'm welcomed today by our Sportsbook Director, Sean Cullen, and our Director of Digital Gaming, Eric Osterman, and Billy Schmid, host of The Huddle, FS Wisconsin, 920. Congratulations on your new show.
Thanks, man. Early wake-ups, but it's always available. And whenever you wake up early, the early bird gets the worm. And maybe the best line over here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
That's right. So we're heading into NFL Conference Championship weekend. Patriots at Broncos and the Rams at the Seahawks. Sean, are you okay that the Bills didn't make it? Are you okay?
Floor is yours, buddy. Whatever you need to get off your chest.
I made it here today. No, I'm not too salty about it. I still think that was a catch and not an interception, but we don't have to talk about it for too long. Yeah, Bill's coach being fired was a shock to me.
Yeah,
that was something in a past life. I was fortunate enough to meet him personally, and he's a great guy. But I also understand the decision to great success in recent years, but If you can't get to the Super Bowl and you can't win a Super Bowl, that's obviously what it's all about. So,
yeah, they've had great regular season success, but just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Josh Allen now falls to 0-7 in overtime games in his career, which is just a crazy stat.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bills, they were my pick to make it out of the AFC, so they're gone. Patriots and Broncos, though. I mean, this is a great matchup. Broncos, number 1 seed at home. Of course, the news is Bo Nix getting hurt at the end of that game against the Bills. So we're going with Jared Stidham at quarterback against the Patriots, his old team. Right now, the line sits at Broncos plus 4.5. So they are an underdog at home. What do you guys think? Where are you leaning on this one?
I'm crazily leaning in on the underdog. And you see Sean Payton have a chance at like a free roll legacy play.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get himself to his second Super Bowl and for it to be with his backup quarterback. Nobody can be mad if ultimately they catch an L here, or they won't try. He'll have a built-in excuse like he tried to have in 2018 when they lose in overtime at home because of the pass interference. You still get the ball. You still have Drew Brees. He throws an interception. You lose to the Rams. Not because of the pass interference. That's another thing with Sean Payton. But I think it's a close game, and I really wasn't wowed by New England last week.
No, and to be honest with you, Bo Nix hasn't been what's winning them football games, right? Like, obviously, he's come a long way in his career, and he's obviously, the number 1 out there for a reason. But, I mean, their running game, I think, is underrated. Their defense has had their moments of weakness, but I still am a believer in that secondary. I think that the 4.5 is a lot of points. I actually like New England first half in this game. You see it all the time in Mile High. The visiting team comes out hot, then they get winded by the second half. So 2.5, I think, was the Patriots' first half. That's something that I'm looking at for this game.
Yeah, this is a matchup that's pretty interesting because, like, normally if you're a number 1 seed and you're hosting the AFC Championship, you'd think you'd be the favorite. But without Bo Nix, it just changes the storyline completely. I think the Patriots, on paper, I think they have, without a doubt, the better offense. But I think the Broncos have the better defense. So that matchup's going to be really good to watch. But what's going to happen when the Broncos are on offense and the Patriots are on defense? And I think that's what the game's going to come down to. Jared Stidham, he was the hand-picked backup. That's who Sean Payton wanted this year. He's obviously he's been around the league for a while. It's not like he's a young guy. So I'm leaning towards the Broncos. I think it's just a lot of points for a home game in the playoffs. So give me the Broncos plus 4.5. Sean, you got any thoughts on this one?
Still too raw?
I don't care about the AFC.
Just hope they both lose.
Bills are bust.
Yeah.
No AFC represented in the Super Bowl. Just 2 NFC teams. I think the number is moved down a little bit today, so that would tell you where the public sentiment lies. So money going on the Broncos, it looks like. I think from the spread in the Broncos-Bills game, where I think the Broncos minus 1.5 or something like that.
It was back and forth. Like, each team was about 1 point favorite. Yeah, back and forth.
But yeah, I think that's a big. Even with the backup quarterback, I think going from a 1.5 point favorite over the Bills to a 4.5 point dog against the Patriots is Probably a little bit much, so yeah, I would agree. There's probably some value in the plus 4.5 for the Broncos.
Yeah, and I like the over in this one too. I think that both offenses are going to play pretty well. I think even without Bo Nix, I think the Broncos offense is going to put up some points. I see them both being in the 20s, so I like the over 42.
I haven't been crazy impressed with New England's defense all year either.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think at last check, the weather is actually going to be very decent, which you wouldn't typically think for Denver in January, but a little cold but sunny and very little wind from what I saw. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the over.
Stidham doesn't throw the ball to the other team 4 times like C.J. Stroud did in the first half. I mean, the Texans moved the ball all day against that New England team.
Yeah.
And for them to be in clear conditions, I also think Sean Payton's been salivating waiting for this one. Get an opportunity to show everybody about how genius he is and a chance to run through the AFC with a backup. I'm fascinated with it. Their offensive line also best unit in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways you can bet on these games. So like another way is teasers. A lot of people like to put a teaser together this week of the year. 6-point teaser. I love it with the Broncos and the Rams. You're getting Broncos up to 10.5 and the Rams up to 8.5. You're going through a lot of those key numbers. You're looking for just the game to be a one-score game at the end, or your team to win the game. So I think that's a really good teaser to do. A lot of people like to shy away from going through 0 on the teasers. You've kind of seen there's a lot of you're losing some value when you do that. But if you're at a team like Seattle at -2.5 and you feel like they're either going to win or lose by a small amount, taking them to like +3.5, that's an option for you as well. Other ways you can bet on this game, I mean, there's so many player props. We have who scores a touchdown, how many passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. We even have guys like how many tackles a player will get. These games, you'll see a lot more player props than we did during the regular season.
Maybe some field goal props with that altitude. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see some long ones.
Yeah, just a lot of options. And then come the Super Bowl, you're going to see even more options for prop betting. Right now, you can even do like, what do you call it? Squares. We even have squares available for these two games. If you think Patriots, 3, Broncos 6, kind of like all those pools and squares we grew up with. So just a lot of different ways you can bet. It makes it really fun for a lot of people. Something else I want to do too is I want you guys to comment on our videos. I want you to tell us what you like that we're talking about, what you'd like to hear us talk about. Do you have any sports betting related questions? Like we want to be here to just help anyone learn about sports betting, or maybe I mentioned things like going through the key numbers in a teaser. Maybe you don't know what key numbers means. Anything like that at all. Just please ask the questions. We'll do some videos to explain anything. I want to talk more about just coming in to the Sportsbook for a big event. Like, we have these NFL games. We have the Super Bowl coming up. We have UFC coming up. Sean, what is it like to be someone that comes into our Sportsbook and gets a reservation?
I mean, it's if you haven't been here, it's a 2,000 square foot video wall, TVs wall to wall all over the place. But it's basically 200 plus people, all with similar interests, rooting for and against the same things. And sometimes you get half the room cheering and the other half of the room is pulling their hair out. But it's a great time. The atmosphere is great. There's tons of energy. And, I like to hop on the volume when Bruce Buffer is doing some of his introductions for UFC to dial up the intensity a little bit. I know his cadences pretty well, so I can hit those pretty well. But
so right there on the screen, that's where you can go if you want to get a reservation. Come on in. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just want to make sure that you saw that was on the screen. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. You're going to click on reservations. You'll see a diagram of our room, the different options you can have. So far, what we've always been doing is you're putting money down towards your food and beverage for the day. That might be a little different for special events like Super Bowl and such going forward, but we'll get into that when that happens. But right now, you are looking at your food and beverage deposit. So like, what if you're putting $50 down per person? It's not necessarily like a fee, right? It's $50 towards your food and beverage for the day.
Good thing to point out. This is coming up. The first UFC pay-per-view of the new year. They are an hour earlier now.
Yes.
So be aware of that. You don't want to miss out on the first couple of fights of the main card or the prelims.
I believe that's 4 p.m. for prelims, or the early prelims, and 8 p.m.
8 p.m. for the main card.
for main card.
That's some of the best news for us quickly becoming old guys.
Yeah.
The 9 o'clock start for the pay-per-view was becoming a little bit
Main
nauseating.
events ending at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
It's
it was difficult because the kids are waking up at 6, and I knew that I had to be able to see it. I would advocate as well, bringing somebody in here who might not be a fight fan for a UFC event. My wife was pregnant at the time, came in here, and she would not leave until the main event finished. And that was a late night. Somebody had no clue. The intensity and the excitement is just through the roof.
Just be happy you're in the central time zone, because before coming to Potawatomi, I was sportsbook manager elsewhere on the East Coast in the Eastern time zone.
Oh.
And yeah, even later at night,
I would have to get into the theater.
I wouldn't get out of work till 2:30 in the morning.
No chance. I would have to find another hobby.
Yeah, it's
And even if you bring in somebody who's not a sports fan at all, we have some really great food and drink specials here. It's some of the best you can find anywhere. So take advantage of that.
yeah, we're still doing $10 off the towers, the beer towers. So if you're looking at that, we're $10 off during game days. But yeah, just a fun experience all around. New segment that I want to get into this week. We're calling this At the Window. And this week's topic is anytime touchdown score. So something that I'm seeing a lot of people come up to our counter, they question certain bet types, and maybe they're betting things they don't know fully what it is when they're betting it. Anytime touchdown score is the person that scores the touchdown. So that does not include passing touchdowns. It is the only one person that scores a touchdown, and that's the one that has the ball, that crosses the end zone, and gets the 6 points. So if you're seeing something like this weekend, you see Drake May, anytime touchdown scorer, that is not going to include his passing touchdowns. He's going to have to either run it in or maybe a Philly special, catch the ball, run it in. So you're going to see that quite often. Just want to make sure everyone's aware, anytime touchdown score does not include passing touchdowns. We also have betting where you can bet on passing touchdowns. That's going to be labeled passing touchdowns, over, under 1.5 or 2.5. There's so many different ways you can bet things, right? But anytime touchdown score, I just want to be clear, does not include passing touchdowns. You'll see first touchdown score, last touchdown score, and then the final column is anytime touchdown score. So if you're looking at betting on who's going to score, that's how it works. Next, I want to talk about the Indiana Hoosiers are the national champions of college football. Who would have thought?
That's wild. A few years ago, if you said that, that's wild.
I would have been like, you're crazy. Yeah. Before this season, we had someone place a $100 bet at 150 to 1. They're walking out here with $15,000. Was that you? That wasn't you, was it?
I sure wish. I also, more than anything, hope the individual didn't hedge. I just hope that we had some real proud cream and crimson fan that decided that he was going to hold that bad boy all the way through to 16-0 and tie the 1894 Yale Bulldogs.
I don't know what their margin of victory was exactly through their playoff run, but none of them were close from what I recall. So I think I would have just let it ride.
Even if the guy did hedge,
Great opportunity to hedge because you're getting plus money on their opponents.
A lot.
Right. To Austin's point, if you don't know what hedging is, come in and talk to the guys here at the book or leave us a comment on the video. That is a strategy you see a lot of pros toss around the word hedge, but this opportunity, like Austin mentioned, plus money on the other side, you guarantee yourself a profit. Like, I don't know if I could let it ride. I'll tell you guys that. I don't know. I might guarantee myself the money. I'm not that confident of a bettor,
And here at Potawatomi Sportsbook, if you decide that you don't have enough money to hedge what you want to hedge on a long liability like that, we offer cash out early. So if you want to come to a kiosk, scan your ticket. It's going to give you a cash out offer more often than not, and you're going to be able to see the amount of that you'll offer you. You can either take that, or you can clear the screen, walk away, and don't take that. But it's really nice that if you have, especially parlays, maybe you have like a 3-leg, 4-leg, 5-leg parlay, and you hit the first few, and you're like, well, gosh, I can turn that $20 into like $200 right now, or I can let it ride for further, and you're like, I'm pretty happy with $200. Head to the kiosk, scan your ticket. Just make sure before you walk away from the kiosk that you clear the screen. You don't want to leave that on the screen before you walk away. But yeah, it's another option that we give people is to be able to cash out early. With college football over, NFL winding down, which sports are getting your attention? You guys moving into some college basketball? Are you following that closely yet?
I rip into a lot more NBA. I've been starting to try and dabble with a little bit more puck. A lot more times around the playoff time and the series builds. I feel like the drama of the NHL captivates me in. Yeah. But right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm saving up and banking up for some baseball because if you're telling me my favorite player parlays and prop parlays to fire in on a Tuesday afternoon, nothing beats an MLB Tuesday.
So what do you think about talking about baseball real quick? Freddie Peralta traded from the Brewers last night over to the Mets. We got 2 minor leaguers that are ready for the bigs. What do you guys have any feelings on the trade? Like when you heard the news, were you surprised? Were you happy about what we got?
I was surprised. I don't think there's any other way to put it. It's just surprised. Like for a team that did so well last year, a team that you would think is going to try to make another playoff run this year, to get rid of your number one starter, I don't get it. The farm system's already good. I don't know. Maybe they're going to make another play, for an established guy, but for a team that's basically Yelich and a bunch of guys that they've developed, you would think they'd need a more established pro at the top of the lineup, but I don't know. Maybe they got something in the works that we're not aware of.
The small market way of doing business.
Exactly what I was going to say.
You gotta ship them off at the worst possible time. It's like that senior on your old college football team. Back when you actually graduated out of college football, and you didn't just like go back in and I played a couple of games in the G League and I'm gonna come back and play more college basketball.
Re-sign with your own team.
You were proud and happy for the guy when they go and sign that big deal. Yeah. Freddie's gonna cash in immensely, but it felt like one they almost had to make. The interesting thing is Brewers got a type, and Jet Williams is exactly that. 5'7", 5'8", 180 pounds. That's a Brewer if I've ever seen one that Pat Murphy's going to love.
Yeah, like you said, it's the small market way. I mean, we were going to be his contract is up after next season. We were not going to be the highest bid. Like, we were going to get outbid for his contract. Someone was going to offer him $30-35 million, and it wasn't going to be the Milwaukee, unfortunately. So in those situations, that's unfortunately part of the business. We're a smaller market. We're not spending $2 billion like the Dodgers are.
But is this year not the year? If not this year, then when? Right? I mean,
the year after, you got to have them bites at the apple. Yeah. Got to keep getting yourself them chances.
I understand that this is probably a move they felt like they needed to make because of what you mentioned. They're not going to be the highest bidder, but to me, especially in baseball, like your window's only alive for so long. Like I thought that they were really going to make a push this year, so
it really hurts sports radio because Freddie Peralta was a never-ending content machine. Is he truly an ace? And you fire that question up on any given day. He goes 5 innings instead of 6. That's not what a number one starter is. A lot of good opportunities, so we're going to miss that one, no doubt.
Yeah, we still have a really good team here in Milwaukee. Still going to be contending for the Central, even without Freddie. Just glad he was here. We had a great time with him. He obviously is, ace of our team, and now it's going to turn into the young gun, the guy that throws 100+ every pitch. So it's going to be interesting to see the Brewers. We got a lot of young arms, got a really good farm system. I mean, I just saw that now with these guys coming in, Brewers have gone to the number 1 farm system in Major League Baseball. So I'm excited for the future of Milwaukee, even without Freddie.
And I'm excited to take them game day shuttles over to American Family Field. I'll tell you that much coming up in a couple of months.
Absolutely. So, we'll have the shuttles for the Brewers games. We also have the shuttles right now for Bucks games. So if you want to come on in, park at our parking structure, come enjoy our food and beverage, place your bets on the games, you can do that right here at Potawatomi Sportsbook. So either make a bet at the Sportsbook counter or have a food and beverage purchase at the Sportsbook restaurant and ask for a bracelet. So we're going to get you a bracelet that gets you onto the shuttle, picks you up right from the annex, which is next to the Sportsbook. You're going to get on our shuttle, take it right to Fiserv or to American Family Field when that happens, and then right back as well. So, and that is totally free for you as long as you made a purchase here. So it's just a great way to get you to the games. I mean, and you know, some of our team members here even use it themselves because they know how much you can just save avoiding the parking and the cold weather. I mean, it's not exactly hot out.
Free parking and it's covered, which is the most vital part, especially with the weather we've been having these days.
So that's just an awesome service that we have here at Potawatomi, and I know that Sean was a huge reason that came about. So thank you, Sean, for getting the shuttles going. And then also the VIP line. I want people to be aware that we have our VIP line always up. If you are a Blaze or Flame member with us, you can enter that VIP line. If you are planning on making a bet on any of these games we're talking about, or anything else, if you're going to be betting 1,000 or more on each bet, come to that VIP line. Get in there. Get to the front of the line quicker. We want to be your destination. We want to be your sportsbook. You guys have anything else you want to chat about? Anything else before we wrap things up?
Just want to say real quick on that Rams-Seahawks game.
Yeah.
I love the experience on the Rams. Give me the money line there. I have to put it out there since Zach's not in studio with us, big Seahawks supporter. Just want to make sure he knows where I'm at on that game.
Rams were my NFC representative before the playoffs started in the Super Bowl.
I love that because Zach has been just dialed in on reminding us every week that he's been in on Seattle. And frankly, I thought the Rams were going to potentially die on the vine last week like everybody else has against the Bears in weird come-from-behind fashion. I didn't know if we'd get this game a third time for the NFC title game, but I sure as heck am happy that it's going to be in Seattle because that's going to be an incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, each game this year, one team won by 1 point, the other team won by 2 points. I know it's been real tight matchups for them. I'm on the Rams in this one as well. I just feel like this is their year. I think this is what Matt Stafford, wanted to be in LA for. Like he wanted to contend for championships. What better opportunity do they have than to win this game against their division rival, get to the Super Bowl? I'm on the Rams.
Does he ride off into the sunset if they win it?
That is tough. I mean, I think he's still got a lot in him yet. I just don't know. It's a great opportunity, right? I mean,
he was sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber in the parking lot during training camp. Doesn't sound like a guy that's going to play a lot longer, but it does seem like a great chance for him.
Yeah. Those years with Detroit, he got beat up. I mean, his body, just even now in LA, is he's been beat up a lot in his career. So I think you're right. I think we might be seeing near the end of his career.
Could be a fascinating one. Can't wait for it.
Yep. Well, that's going to wrap things up in this edition of Potawatomi Sportsbook Weekly. Whether you're riding with our picks or you plan to create your own, come do it at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Remember to keep it fun, bet responsibly, and we'll see you at the window.